called Antigua by Antonio Carlos Jobim. Book, Play Piano Like a Pro. Yeah. And anyway, I've played this song for years with my trio, and I never looked back at the music after I learned it, and I realized I did make a few mistakes over the years. They creep into your playing. So anyway, I'm going to go over the song. So it's a bossa nova, and the bass stays very simple. A lot of people like to go bum 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 bum, and I've heard drummers say that that's what you do on the bass drum, but the bass player just does this. So I think once in a while you can put that little bump bump. It's not going to hurt anything, but if you want to be authentic, don't do it. So nice chords here and very unrelated, The rhythm all comes in the right hand. And I always played a ninth chord here, but it really should be that. Now the melody is a little tricky, so you got to get a good fingering in there. You could go thumb thumb, but it's probably better to do something like that. And then here. Now there, thumb thumb works pretty well because you can slide. Now here on the, what does it call that? It calls that a G minor, but it's a C suspended chord basically. And I didn't play I can't reach that very well, so the melody comes down and hits that D anyway. And then I just think of this as a C7th chord. And it's like an altered chord because it's got a flat 13 and a flat 9. And notice that we went from an unaltered dominant chord with a 13 and a 9 to a flat 13 and a flat 9. And that's why I like to call it the flat 13 and not the sharp 5, though sharp 5 is okay, you can call it that. And then we go on to it's like an F minor ninth because of the melody note there. That's cool. That's kind of a weird chord symbol there. It really should just say F7, and then you've got a sharp 11 in it. That's this one, and a 13. Now they're calling it the flat 5, and I don't have a 5 down here, so you could call it a flat 5, but most of the time you're going to see that as F7 with a sharp 11. No need to write the 13 because it's a melody note. I played that wrong for years. I just went down to the root like that. That ain't good. The ninth is so good. I should start playing gigs again so I can play some of these songs right. And then here we got. And here it really is a flat 5. Though I wish they would have written flat 5 and not minus 5. I never put that little melody in either. You'd have to play that with your left hand if you want to get up there in time. And here the melody, when you improvise, sometimes you do these little things in thirds or fourths maybe, but sevenths, you really got to think about it. And what scale is that? It's a G flat major, and we'll be talking about that scale in a minute when we get to the improv section of this video. So we've got the A flat minor coming down on, let's see, if it's coming down on G flat major scale, what would that make it? I guess that's Dorian mode. So, and then same scale really. Yeah, it's like the natural minor of E flat. So yeah, it must have been that one. Okay, yeah. Anyway, it's kind of a hard pattern to learn, so. And then same thing starting higher. And, I usually just play the root, the seventh here on these big chords, and then maybe come up with a rootless voicing if I have time to do it. And then here, a nice little 2-5-1 to get you back to E flat major. And I always played a minor 7 flat 5 here. I don't know why, I just thought it was that, and it isn't. Okay, we've got the, we have a flat 9, yeah, flat 9's the melody, and the 13 is right there. And I think of it as a G triad over a nice B flat 7th structure there. I would prefer they just write B flat 7th and then put the alterations in there. All right. Back to that again. That's a nice chord there. It's a minor major 7th. It just says minor. I guess they didn't know what to call the melody note, but we call this a minor major 7th. Kind of, a big name for a small chord, but that's it. That's basically it. Now, talking a little bit about improv, and I'm just going to talk about the first 2 chords here. E flat major 7th, and we're going to use, and we're in the key of E flat, so E flat major scale. And lots of little enclosures to keep it from being boring. Enclose that note. Enclose that one. And that one. Yeah, all right, I'll show you how to do this run that I made up. You start like that, and then enclose that, enclose that. All right, and some keys it's easier to do this in than other keys, so learn it in the easy keys, like D flat, A flat, there's a few other keys it works in. Some of them are really bad, like E is a hard one. So make up a different line for E. Don't kill yourself trying to learn it in all 12 keys. Learn to play in all 12 keys, but you don't have to learn the same riff in all 12 keys. Not on the piano. Do the ones that are easy to play. There's stuff in G flat probably that's easier to play than in the key of C, and anyway, that's my approach. Other people will tell you different. So anyway, we're in E flat, and we're going to use some enclosures. I don't know why I'm swinging it. On the B, there's a lot of common notes here. And I'm using the G flat scale. So that would actually be, make this Lydian mode. So I wouldn't even think about the G flat scale. Just think about B and sharp the 4th note up like that. All right, instead of that note. All right. Usually when you have major 7th chords, if it's in the key of the song, like this song's in E flat, just use the major scale. But any other major 7th chord, use the Lydian mode. Suppose you just went up a half step. That's the Lydian note, and it's the common tone here. So I guess that's why it kind of works. Here it's the ninth, here it's the Lydian mezzo. So I did some of that stuff there from the B section. And, when you improvise, you want to be able to flow smoothly from one line to the other. So you practice 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Or maybe let's just make it a little harder. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Those would be eighth notes. So you just practice, real steady lines and switching smoothly from one chord and one scale to the next chord and the next scale. And you can do that, throughout the whole song. It helps you get fluid and helps you connect your lines so you're not just hunting and pecking around on each chord. And, it makes you sound like a pro. Of course, if you do too much of that, now it starts to sound like an exercise. So you want to just play the melodies that are in your head. Really great song. I'll keep looking around through this book. I think there's a couple other really good arrangements in here, and when I find them, I will bring them to you. Thanks so much, everyone, and subscribe, give me a thumbs up, all that good stuff. See you again soon.